Don't wanna do anything. Laziness taking over. Just wanna lay here and do nothing.
What's the point of it all? YouTube reviews? It's all an endless cycle of pointlessness.
Let's see ya grit those teeth!
Where did these sunglasses come from? My relationship with Gurren Lagann started out strained at best. It honestly should have been a terrible show, or at least terrible to me. And can we not, with the sunglasses, guys? Seriously, they don't even match the ones with in the show. I'm not even talking to anyone. Is anyone else in here?
I mean, just look at this promotional art. Some topless man with a cape and impossible and dangerously pointy hairstyles. Of course, robots and the indestructible bikini armor. Nothing can get through this outfit. It's lab tested. Nothing gets past the cleavage. I mean, what is protection if not this? Bullets, do your worst.
But that's just the surface of what this show is.
In all honesty, this show is exactly everything I described earlier. Topless man, starfish sunglasses, bikini, and all. And it is so amazingly nonsensical and stupid that to explain the plot would be like trying to explain a lava lamp to a blind person. It's just not gonna work. I'm sorry. Just know that in a post-apocalyptic future, humans live underground because of reasons. And one of our heroes, Simone, finds a drill thing that lets him pilot a robot thing so that he and his brother from another mother, Kamina, could go above ground and fight the Beastman things that kept them underground because humans have spirals that need to be kept underground, and I already have lost half the audience. So yeah, welcome to Gurren Lagann, where the plot makes no sense and the logic doesn't matter. This is one of those shows you won't understand unless you let yourself be fully immersed in this world, and this can be a bad thing. If a show only makes sense in the world that it's in, it could turn a lot of viewers off. I mean, yeah, there is suspension of disbelief, and most sci-fis and fantasies do create their own laws to the universe, but shows like Gurren Lagann go to another extreme. That if you were to discuss it with a friend who also watched the show, any passerby would believe that you are two high people on the way to the crazy train. This isn't Star Trek, where some of the world is based in science. This isn't Revolutionary Girl Utena, where looking at the hidden meaning of each frame can lead to some enlightenment. And this isn't Harry Potter, where anything unexplained can be blamed on magic.
A wizard did it.
No, this is technically science fiction.
And I use that term very loosely.
This show just makes no sense and does not apologize. I mean, in a world where spirals and manly burning passion have to fight against the anti-spirals that are trying to save the universe from the spirals that are trying to give the universe manly burning passion and want to stop living underground and use pig bolts to do that.
Ugh, I'm giving myself a headache.
But in looking at what other stuff the staff has worked on, it makes all the sense that it doesn't make any sense, and yet by it not making sense, it makes all the more sense, and I have officially lost my audience twice in 1 minute. Okay, let's just make it clear that Gurren Lagann wants to be nonsensical, and because of this, it can be what it is. An inspirational, action-packed drill ride, you see what I did there, that makes you realize that there are some things that don't need to be understood to be understood. It's like one of the many memorable quotes to the show.
Kick logic out and do the impossible!
And yeah, this is one of those stories with the message of believing yourself and all that Hakuna Matata jazz that has been done a million times by billions of people. But Gurren Lagann is different for one important reason.
It's self-aware of its stupidity.
To tell someone the usual inspirational poster malarkey is one thing, but to actually do that stuff is another. When you're told that stuff, the prospect of all the work that it will take and the hoops that you will have to go through will make giving up seem like the logical option. And it often can be. Gurren Lagann recognizes this, but also says that just because it's logical does not mean that it's right, and what isn't logical isn't impossible and sometimes leads to great things. A lot like the show. Just like the tagline says, sometimes you have to kick that logic to the curb and do the impossible, because logic is often the biggest falling point to making the huge strides that are necessary. Or at least that's what I take from it. Other people have said that this show reflects the transcendentalist movement. Nietzsche and way more analyses that can be a video in and of itself. So let's get off this runaway train of thought But to say the least, this show is able to successfully draw me in on its nonsensical plot because it is able to convince me that thinking is unnecessary, because really applying logic to this is like mixing oil and water. This is one of those animes that creates those oh so wonderful heart feels that you can't really understand until you experience it, and if you have, you know what I'm talking about, and if you haven't, you are either not human or a poor excuse for one. That moment when your favorite character pulls off the impossible as the music swells and a nice warm feeling reaches your chest, and even if your brain wants to remind you the reality of the situation and how unrealistic it is, it doesn't matter. Really, it's a feeling like no other, and if you have never experienced it, then I will prescribe you a marathon of Gurren Lagann over the next weekend, because you are a sad, sad human being who has never truly lived, you poor, pathetic soul. You must learn about the burning passion of the truly manly Kamina, the hidden strength of the Simone, and the power in the Yuko.
Poor thing. You poor thing.
And all the wonderful characters in between. And trust me, there are a lot of them. For this being a 27-episode series, there are a lot of people to follow, yet the story does well enough so that you can follow everyone with little to no problem, and everyone is really likable, and the voice actors make sure to give their characters justice in both the dub and the sub. But when you're working on a show that goes under the alternate name of Heavenly Breakthrough Crimson Face, and literally creates a theme, according to Anime News Network, of
Burning manly passion.
if the voice actors did not give it their all, really this show could and would fall flat. Though there are some parts that are arguably better in the sub, really I enjoy the dub just as much. And especially since there is usually a lot going on screen, reading those subtitles really seemed like a shame to me, and I was more than happy to have this dub. This music is, of course, the embodiment of everything that can be said about the show. I have to take a moment to talk about the track entitled Libera Me from Hell. A song that incorporates orchestral music, opera singing, and wait for it, English rap.
Row, fight for power!
A mix that should never work in any other context, but somehow does just like the show, so Taku Iwasaki, my hat goes off to you. The animation is done by Gainax, which previously did shows like Evangelion, Fooly Cooly, and Panty and Stocking with Garter Belts, and would later, under the name Trigger, do shows like Kill la Kill. Now, if you watched Evangelion, you can tell that Gainax should be called Studio Cut Corners and poor budgeting, because boy did it cut corners and was it bad with its budget. I mean, when it's good, and I'll give credit where credit is due, but that staff really tried to focus on those fight sequences, because whole other parts of the show reuses footage, covers mouths to avoid animating them, as well as the last 3 episodes that looked like they had $3 and 2 minutes to animate. But getting off that tirade by Fooly Cooly, this was better, and definitely by Gurren Lagann, they were honing their craft. The animators created their own style that allows for looser animation that can look funky at times, but really works in the show's favor because it also can be funky at times. And note, even though the show goes under the theme of
Burning manly passion.
it does not mean women are not allowed in the clubhouse. I mean, it may seem like that at times, especially when looking at the costume choices. But when you note that the men are not much better off and the female characters are strong, resourceful, and more than their D-cup boob, you can see that there is womanly burning passion here too. Though this bikini is definitely one of the things I can't stop but harp on.
Anime logic less clothes equals more protection.
Now, looking at the con side of the spectrum, once again, if you are the type of person who can't turn off their brain or allow themselves to be immersed in the show's lack of logic, you will hate it. I mean, this is really a smart show, but it's not logical.
If that makes sense.
So if you can't handle that, I say it's not the show for you. But overall, this is a great show. It's one that makes no sense, does not apologize for it, and expects the audience to take it or leave it. Let me just say that I happily take it Not everything has to make sense to be good, and you gotta get a punch in the face to realize that sense is not always your friend. So pierce those heavens, never die even if you are killed. Let's see you grit those teeth so that you can do the impossible.
And seriously, if you can't tell already, this is one of the most quotable shows out there.
So, rating this show based on plot, characters, animation, music, and
Burning manly passion.
I give Gurren Lagann 9 spirals out of 10. And this show pierces through the classic Brasley 101, reaches deep into the darkest depths of space where it is probably telling the forces that control this universe just who the hell do you think we are? If you like this show and are looking for something like it, I recommend Kill la Kill, Try Again, or Razafon.
I'm Brasley 101 ending this episode because
Kick logic out and do the impossible!
I need to pierce my heavens.
Go on! I know you can do it, buddy! Believe in me! Believe in the Kamina who believes in you!
Invisible. Row, row, fight the power. Hush the untouchable, break the unbreakable. Row, row, fight the power. What you gonna do is what you wanna do. Just break the rule. You fight the power. This is the king of the cheap. Cool, baby. Row, row, fight the power. Row, row, fight the power.
Hi guys, it's Brasley 101 here telling you to believe in the you that believes in pressing that subscribe button. Did you like Gurren Lagann? Did you not? Did you think something differently? Do you want me to do another video? Why don't you post that in the comments below? Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope to see you in the next one.